right, so this is part 2. We're going to be looking at Firebase Cloud Messaging, and this one, pretty straightforward actually. Here, you've pretty much done all the hard work. All you need to do is come over into your Firebase Cloud Messaging or your Firebase project. You go to your project settings, and then you click on Cloud Messaging. Now, what I do want to point out, if you recall from the previous video, here you'll notice that the Cloud Messaging API, they talk about the legacy stuff and everything else. And if you remember, when we looked at the SSLs from the previous video, when we were setting up our identities, I was saying don't configure it. It's because of this. It's a deprecated interface. Firebase Cloud Messaging isn't using it. So why create them ourselves, right? No bother. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is if you'll notice down where it talks about the Apple app configurations, and you'll notice that I have my iOS app that I've registered with Firebase. I've also registered my Android app with Firebase as well. However, there's nothing here, right? Because all of this stuff that we've been doing is configuring for iOS. That has nothing to do with Android whatsoever. So, taking a look at our Apple app configuration within Firebase Cloud Messaging, what we'll notice, again, it's telling us that those SSLs are no longer the desired path, so we use keys. And that's pretty much what this is telling us. And if you remember those .p8s that you downloaded from your keys, we are going to use them in this section, and we're just going to upload them right here. This is where we'll put in our production and our development PA keys, right? Whether it was FCM Dev, FCM Prod, whichever one it was, this is where we're going to upload them. Now, beware when you click that upload button, you're going to be required to know your team ID and your key ID. And your key ID can be found after you create them. It's right here. You just copy and paste, put it in, and you're pretty much good to go. That pretty much kind of covers all the stuff we need from getting our key set up into Firebase Cloud Messaging. What we need to do now is talk about some Xcode configurations. Now here, looking at our signing and capabilities, and sorry, I was trying to get as close as I could with this one, so I got a little wonky on that. But if you click the plus for capabilities, what's going to happen is this dialog is going to pop up. You are going to type in push notifications. When that comes up, you just double click it. And then the other one you're going to want are background modes. And again, when that comes up, you're just going to double click it. Once you've done that, you're good with setting up all your permissions. Here in signing and capabilities, you need to specify a couple of nuances. The easiest way to do it is to select all and then make certain that remote notifications is set to true, right? This is your background modes. This is what allows the user to see the notifications if they're not currently using your app, okay? Now, you'll want to double check and make certain that it's also the case for debug and release. Don't do anything with profile. I made that mistake one time. I wasn't paying attention. Man, it took me a while to figure out I was on profile. Bad day. But regardless, just make certain that all debug and release have this set up, right? So you can see the push notifications and you see the background modes, remote notifications, right? Now we're finally getting into some code. And when we talk about our code, in this case, Flutter main, and you could put this in the default floating action button app that you get just from the skeleton of just running the Flutter setup. Here, just make certain that main is async, obviously, because you're initializing Firebase as well as messaging. And you'll notice right here in the section that I have outlined, it prints out this token. Now, FYI, Android, it just works. Just if you run this on Android, it's just going to print out that token. You're pretty much good to go. But you need that token. Copy and paste it, put it somewhere, whatever. From your client's perspective, you may do a function call to get everyone's token. It's just an identifier. It's not PII. It's not anything like that. It's just a token so you can start putting topics together for certain categories of people. That's it, or for certain really categories of device. But FYI, you definitely need this token, certainly for testing. So when you print that out, copy and paste it. If you don't have iOS set up correctly, then this just won't print out anything. But again, Android just totally works. But if you do have everything set up correctly on iOS, you'll get your token, copy and paste that as well. And then down here, I always put this in here, right? Just because it's kind of useful. Here, when we're looking at this, it just tells you if whether or not you're actually getting the message while the app is running. That's pretty much about it. Okay, so moving into Firebase, Cloud messaging, and we're actually going to be sending a message now. Coming over into our Firebase console, click on messaging, and then you're going to create your first campaign, okay? When we're looking at this, keep in mind that the in-app is not going to really be testing your background permissions and everything else, because that means somebody's already using the app. So select the top one, right? Firebase notification message. Once you select that, you're going to come over to a screen where you can actually send out some test messages. Just put in whatever you want here. For me, it's a little shameless. Thumbs up and subscribe, would love it. But put in whatever you want. If you have a URL to an image, put that in there as well. And then here, just go ahead and click on Send Message. Now, once you do this, what's going to happen is you're going to come up to this screen. And if you've sent messages in the past, you're going to have tokens down here. But if this is a new token or the first time you've sent out a message to this particular device or app, go ahead and paste in the token right here where it says add an FCM registration token. And then the test button in the lower right-hand corner will become active. And once you click on that, you immediately are going to see your notifications on hopefully both your devices, right? Again, you can look at this and determine exactly which time and day that I put this video together, but you can see that both my devices are getting the notification that I have in there, okay? So with all of that, hopefully this two-part series gave you something and it was useful. If so, let me know. Thumbs up, subscription, always huge help. And on this channel, check out some of these other videos where I talk about some security stuff within Firebase. Until next time, everybody, take care.